What is going on YouTube? Hayden back making another brand new Crypto TV episode. In today's video, we're going to be looking at Litecoin, Bitcoin, Ethereum, as well as XRP to US dollar. We're also going to be looking at the current coin market cap, which obviously we can tell is dropping quite a bit. In specifics, Bitcoin taking a big plummet in regards to price. Fairly quick, I wanted to discuss with you why I do believe that this is happening, how low we can go, and whether or not we're going to retrace back up. Also, I do want to share some news with you guys. I've been really, anxious about letting you guys know this, and I've been waiting and waiting and waiting, like I've said in my past couple of videos, and it's almost here, but not just yet. Basically, I want to do some giveaways on the channel. Pretty much every video I want to give away some amount of Bitcoin. All you'll have to do to enter is comment down below with your Bitcoin address and leave a comment, and then in that case, just make sure that you're subscribed and you turn on post notifications so you don't miss out on anything and you don't miss out on future giveaways. But otherwise, let's jump into today's video. Alright, so without further ado, obviously everyone knows this, that we saw this major break to the downside. And with that being said, I want to just jump into my analytics, pretty much my YouTube videos, giving you guys what my opinions were the past couple of days. So obviously you can see a couple of things here. Bitcoin pattern explains major move breakout. You can see how exactly I've had these forming. You can see once again right here how this is forming. And you'll notice what exactly happens every time these fractals form. We're seeing something a little bit different, but I do want to discuss what exactly is happening. So obviously as I zoom out right now, you'll notice that we do have fractals forming. This is a little bit of foreshadowing what happened in the past or previously, and then we'll talk about what's going to happen in the future. So notice that every time we do have some sort of major break, we end up retracing back down. That's the key thing that I want you guys to take away from today's video is every time we shoot up, we tend to break bearish. Every time we shot up, we break bearish. This happens over and over again. Now, this time we did do something a little bit different. Now, we didn't slowly consolidate downwards like we've seen. We actually fell quite a bit, but we were anticipating a small downtrend. If you watched yesterday's video, you would have known that I was comparing potentially this movement right here to what could happen right here before we see another pull to the upside. Because as we know, and as I was discussing in yesterday's video, and you can quote me on this, I was saying we were overbought or nearing overbought, inevitably double topping or seeing resistance up top here. There's no room to move up higher before we see retracement. That's the biggest play and biggest trend I'm trying to let you guys know, is this was very obvious that we were expecting to see some sort of retracement. Now, I was not aware that we were going to fall this steep that quickly, but I was under the impression that we were going to retrace fairly quick, and we were definitely in a bear move for the short term right there. As you can see, being overbought or right near that overbought line, there's no room to move up. We could have, if we did move up, it would have been like this, like that, then followed by retracement. So maybe we would have hit a top at $8,400 instead of $8,300, and then we would have fell down, immediately very hard. You can see that we were about to enter overbought, and then we just retraced all the way back down. So that makes sense. Obviously, another thing to pay attention to is the fact that we trended all the way up and hit our resistance right here. So not only were we overbought, we were right inclined with our high-low middle moving averages. Another reason for a small retracement to happen. Now, obviously, we are looking at these indicators on a 4-hour, and from a move of $8,300 all the way to $7,500 is a pretty big retracement. So that is something to pay attention to. We did see this major knock all the way down, but if these patterns continue, we should see reversals and swings to the upside. Now, obviously, if I just extend this a little bit lower, you'll notice we are oversold on the 4-hour within the RSI. So that is another great indicator why we should be expecting to see some sort of uptrend fairly soon. But we were anticipating some short-term retracement due to the fact not only did we hit the high-low MMAs, but we were also overbought. We are about to enter overbought, which is a great obvious reason for a retracement. Notice the last time and pretty much every time we've retested overbought, we ended up pulling back down. Notice we were right involved with the high-low MMAs, and we hit overbought right here, indicating a pullback. You'll notice once again we hit overbought right here, and that indicated a pullback. So this is a major wick downwards. This might not last the whole day. We may see retracement upwards, consolidating back down. That's a big thing, guys, that I want to point out. So this is definitely a possibility that I didn't notice before, but may end up happening right now, as this is all about even. I'd say right here, this all is about even. So this could be, a potential, fractal that is forming right now. The only problem that we had is we had this major sell-off and we wicked all the way down. So let's see how this plays out. But if we do decide to trend upwards, we may wick all the way back up from the $7,500 retracement, which looks predictable, back up to around $7,900, and then inevitably consolidating back down like this, continuing the fractal forming downwards before inevitably breaking back up to the upside. So that's huge. That's something I want you guys to consider. That is a possibility. So inevitably, if you did want to somewhat make profit, the fact that we are oversold right now, we may consider seeing a small retracement upwards, whether that's profitable to you. $7,500 retracement up to $7,880 may be something inclined to, but I do anticipate to see this wick. I'm expecting a wick to form and we consolidate back upwards. Now moving on to the daily for right now, you'll notice that is still a pretty big downtrend, and I am honestly anticipating some sort of retracement lower. Now what this does confirm is the major long-term bullish descending triangle that we do have, on the charts. Now this, even though in the short term this is a bearish flag and this did pull us back down, not only are we now retesting oversold on the daily, which is a great thing. Let me extend this downwards. You also notice we are starting almost to see, you can see how over, strawed out we were with the blue band on the MACD starting to pull back down right now, eventually going to retest that orange signal right there, indicating a bear market. I want to see whether or not this holds. I'm anticipating a strong wick up. That's what I'm looking for. There are a couple things to consider right now. Obviously, where we fell down to is still a support. You'll notice this is previous support right here. So if we can continue to hold out right here, I wouldn't be too nervous because that is where support is, and that would confirm our major, descending triangle that we're seeing right here. You can see the beautiful uptrend or the downtrend, and then this right here is the other part. That would be the big descending triangle that we're having before seeing consolidation back upwards. We could even hold this orange line right here. I wouldn't be surprised if we consolidated back up here. That would be interesting. But for the most part, seeing consolidation like this and a small wick back upwards wouldn't be surprising either. But this does really give me confirmation that this is a strong resistance. And for the long-term people that are holding on to this long-term, I am anticipating this to eventually consolidate into this right here, then seeing the pop, that major pop of major volume that we're all anticipating. But right now I am expecting to see some sort of reversal really quickly within the prices. Let's just check out the current coin market cap. Like I said, things do look fairly bearish, everything falling about 7 to 10%, which is a huge bear market, a huge bear play. That's unfortunate. The other big thing that I wanted to look at was Litecoin. I feel like this was the biggest giveaway and the biggest indicator of a retracement. Very, very, very obvious. I feel like I don't have to say much. Maybe I'll just correct this down a wee bit. Okay, that doesn't really change much, but notice we do have a huge, massive fractal forming on Litecoin. This was a major fractal. So obviously we were going to see a play downwards. We were going to see the play break because this is a huge resistance. This is a third point of confirmation. We had resistance here, resistance, 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 a pull to the downside. Once again, I've been calling this, you can quote me on my last video, we were expecting to see lower levels. I would have been very shocked if we managed to break out of the fractal, shooting back up to the high-low MMA, which I still think is a huge possibility. But for the most part, it wasn't, something that we weren't expecting due to the fact that we hit resistance right here. So it made sense that we were going to see some sort of pullback. This wasn't, shocking. This wasn't new news to us. We were expecting to see this play happen. Obviously, we were all anticipating a bullish break, but we did see that fall lower. So that hopefully explains a lot of the charts that I've been talking about. When I say, Bitcoin breakout confirmed and these things right here, this was actually a breakout that we did see on Bitcoin. We actually did see that pop right there. That was called. We do have Bitcoin breakouts will continue higher, explaining major breakout move. Those are in regards to the fact that we are starting to head back up. And if you watch those videos, you would have heard me explain that we are expecting the downtrend being overbought on the 4-hour before seeing movements up. We were pretty much trying to play whether or not, or we were trying to figure these consolidation points that happen when we spike upwards to happen here. Obviously, the major drop wasn't expected, but this may consolidate back upwards. Lastly, to wrap up today's video, We are seeing consolidation lower, obviously on Ethereum. I think we hit rock bottom for right now. Ethereum is giving us signs that this is the bottom where the coin is going to hit, and we're not really going to head up much lower. So that's a great thing. XRP breaking resistance, falling lower. That's unfortunate, but Ethereum gives a good sign that this is the bottom. Litecoin gave us a good confirmation that was a resistance at the top, and Bitcoin is falling quite low, and I am honestly anticipating some sort of consolidation from that due to the fact that we are in that overbought market right now. Otherwise, and you'll even notice when we were on previous resistance and we were oversold on previous, not overbought, oversold, you'll notice when we fell all the way down to around $7,700 back in September, we retraced all the way back up. You'll notice this was still oversold. We went all the way up from $7,700 to $8,300 before finally entering more neutral areas. So we could easily see this consolidate back up and then continue this, downwards fractal that we were expecting, and then potentially a pop to the upside. But this immediately cleared the wave for bigger moves to the upside. That's the great thing. Is like I was very nervous about investing into Bitcoin right now because of the fact that we were overbought, or we were nearing overbought, and we were hitting this resistance. But the fact that we just fell all the way back down and entered us into oversold gave me reasons to believe that we were most definitely now going to have plenty of room to move up higher. Otherwise, guys, that's going to wrap up today's video. Like I said, I will be implementing Bitcoin giveaways on the channel very soon. All you'll have to do is comment on today's video and then leave your Bitcoin address in the description or in the comments down below, and then obviously make sure you're subscribed and your post notifications are on so you don't miss out on any of those future giveaways. Otherwise, I'll see you in tomorrow's video. Peace.